This is Sylvia Saber with OpTv Global Headlines, starting with the top international stories for the day. The leaders of the group of 7 countries has decided to deal with the Taliban in future, but their number one condition is that the group must allow safe passage to Afghans wanting to leave the country even after an August 31st deadline, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said. EU leaders have urged US President Joe Biden at G7 virtual meeting to continue to secure Kabul airport until operations to evacuate vulnerable Afghans are complete. The President of the European Council, Charles Michel, refused to tell how Biden had responded. The Taliban said that they are not allowing the evacuation of Afghans anymore and warned that the US must stick to next week's deadline to pull out. The announcement came as US President Joe Biden made clear he aims to stick with his August 31st deadline to withdraw troops from Afghanistan. Afghan Taliban spokesman Zabiullah Mujahid said that they will not allow anyone to use their land against Pakistan or any other country, addressing a press conference in Kabul. He added that the problem of Panjshir will be solved through talks. The turn of war will not come. Indian forces killed 2 senior Kashmiri commanders and 3 other freedom fighters in 2 separate operations in disputed and occupied territories of Kashmir. Police and soldiers raided a village in Supor area. Residents said troops used explosives to blast a civilian house during the fighting. A 15-year-old Palestinian was killed by Israeli fire in the occupied West Bank after Israeli forces stormed a refugee camp near Nablus in search of a suspect. The Palestinian Health Ministry said Imad Khalid Saleh Hashash died after sustaining a gunshot wound to the head. The director of America's spy agency CIA has met with Taliban's top political leader in Kabul. Details of the meeting were not released. However, Taliban spokesman Zabiullah Mujahid said again that this group would accept no extensions to the August 31st deadline. United States Vice President Kamala Harris accused China of intimidation in disputed Asian waters, seeking to rally regional allies as the United States superpower status takes a hit over Afghanistan. Harris reiterated that Washington had enduring commitments in Asia and took aim at China. The Calder fire in California has become the nation's number one priority for firefighting resources. Nearly 43,000 Californians are under evacuation orders and more than 500 households are in shelters, according to the officials. Up next, we have the national updates. Pakistan has conducted a successful test flight of Fateh-1, which is a Pakistani-made guided multi-launch rocket system capable of delivering conventional warheads. According to the Inter-Services Public Relations, the weapon system was capable of delivering a conventional warhead up to a range of 140 kilometers and will equip the military with the ability to strike deep into enemy territory. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi on Tuesday arrived in Dushanbe, Tajikistan to discuss the Afghanistan situation. As part of Pakistan's efforts for an inclusive political settlement in Afghanistan, Foreign Minister will visit Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan and Iran, where he will hold meetings with the top leadership of these countries to discuss issues of mutual interests, including regional security. Pakistan International Airlines has cancelled special flights to Kabul. More flights were not operated due to lack of permission, despite the fact that 3 planes and staff were ready to fly after the European Union and Asian Development Bank had sought help from Pakistan. So far, PIA has operated 7 special flights and repatriated as many as 1,460 people, most of them foreigners, stranded in Afghanistan. Prime Minister Imran Khan has submitted a reply to Election Commission of Pakistan show cause notice in which he stated that PTI intra-party elections could not be held in time due to current situation of coronavirus pandemic across the country and the instructions of the NCOC. Prime Minister Imran Khan also requested the Election Commission of Pakistan to withdraw the show cause notice. The opposition, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, mocked the National Accountability Bureau for dragging party president Shehbaz Sharif in an alleged 7-year-old corruption case involving rupees 4.5 million. Party's Information Secretary Maryam Aurangzeb alleged that NAB chairman retired Justice Javed Iqbal, in convenience with Prime Minister Imran Khan, sent notices to Mr. Sharif in the concocted case in the award of contract for beautification and horticulture work along the route of Rawalpindi-Islamabad Metro bus service. Armed men gunned down 3 coal miners working in the Marwar coalfield area of Quetta. The attackers escaped after killing the miners, and members of the security forces deployed at the nearby checkpost got the information late as there was no mobile phone service in the hilly area. After 8 years, the National Database and Registration Authority has finally started the process of issuance of National Alien Registration Authority cards to the immigrants staying in Pakistan. Currently, NADRA have a record of 120,000 foreign nationals. The card would enable the foreigners and their families to run their businesses, get admission in private educational institutions, private employment, mobile SIMs, utility, open bank accounts, and vehicle registrations. Pakistan welcomed the decision of the Saudi Arabia government to allow direct travel from Pakistan to the kingdom. Recently, Saudi Arabia eased COVID-19 related restrictions for fully vaccinated expats, allowing them to enter the kingdom directly from Pakistan, India, Indonesia, Egypt, Turkey, Argentina, Brazil, South Africa, the United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia, Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Lebanon. Millions of people in 29 major cities of Pakistan, including Karachi, are drinking contaminated water, which is putting their lives at risk. Overall, 62% of the underground drinking water quality of these major cities is full of turbidity, hardness, chloride, TDS, bacteriological, and other chemicals. In Karachi, some 93% of drinking water is contaminated, while 94% of drinking water is unsafe in Multan city. 92% water is unsafe in Badin and 83% in Sargodha. The Tourism Development Corporation of Punjab is installing glamping pods at various tourist sites in the province to provide the tourists with low-priced accommodation. The installation of glamping pods had been completed at Patriata, Murray, and they would also be installed at Kotli, Satyan, Soon Valley, and Changamanga. The project will cost 40 million rupees. University of Health Sciences issued the schedule of MBBS Annual Examinations 2021, but students demand revision of the examination schedule, as some complain the syllabus is not even half covered, while others said that issuing the schedule on such short notice is pathetic. Up next, we have the health updates. The number of people over 30 with high blood pressure has doubled over the past 30 years, and more than half of them are not being treated for it, a global study found. About 8.5 million deaths every year occur due to not getting even this basic level of care in rich and poor countries alike, according to the World Health Organization. The US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suggests people get a flu shot by the end of October. The coming flu season may be a bad one. With COVID-19 still complicating things, the experts say people may do it even earlier. The fourth wave of the COVID-19 has intensified as 141 more Pakistanis have lost their lives due to the pandemic during the past 24 hours, taking the country's overall death toll to 25,220. According to the National Command and Operations Center, the country's number of overall confirmed cases has risen to 113, while the positivity rate of infections was recorded at 6.83. Up next, we have the updates on science and technology. Google's self-driving spin-off Waymo begins testing its sport utility vehicles with public in San Francisco. Anybody can sign up for Waymo's ride-hailing app, though the company is hand-selecting who it picks up, with the list expected to grow gradually to hundreds of people. The GSMA has projected that Pakistan will stay behind in terms of smartphone users as well, the 5G coverage among the countries of Asia-Pacific region by 2025. However, Minister of Information Technology and Telecommunications Syed Aminul Haq said key initiatives have been taken which will help the country surpass the projections made by the GSMA. Up next, we have the sports updates. Pakistan beat West Indies by 109 runs to level series in the final session of the second and final test at Sabina Park. Shaheen kept Pakistan's hope alive with a devastating first innings effort of 6 for 51 on day 4. It is his best test innings performance. The England women's cricket team is set to tour Pakistan for the first time ever in October to play 5 limited over internationals. England, the reigning 50-over World Cup champions led by Heather Knight, are scheduled to play 2 2020 games and 3 one-day internationals between October 10 till 22 in Rawalpindi. Argentina and Brazil have announced to use World Cup qualifiers as test events for football fans' return to stadiums following COVID-19 enforced bans. Argentina's tourism and sports minister said that a pilot scheme would take place on September 9 for the visit of Bolivia to Buenos Aires at the 70,000 Monumental Stadium with 30% capacity. Up next, we have the entertainment updates. Organizers of a hot air balloon festival in New Mexico have been awarded by a Guinness World Record for launching 524 balloons at the same time. The festival broke its own record the following year with 345 balloons. The much-awaited upcoming ISPR project titled Sinfe Aha does not only comprise a star-studded female cast. In a recent social media update, actors Shahryar Munawar and Ali Rahman Khan were spotted in a group photo with Saira Yusuf and director Nadeem Baig. Columnist Fatma Bhutto has called out Angelina Jolie's Instagram debut post in support of Afghanistan. The writer Fatma Bhutto has genuine questions to ask in her tweet about the pressing issue of Kashmir by saying, "Has anyone told Angelina Jolie about Kashmir?" American singer Billie Eilish has released trailer of her concert film Happier Than Ever, a love letter to Los Angeles. From September 3rd, the film will stream exclusively on Disney+. A Washington State University engineer's robotic beetle earned a Guinness World Record as the lightest crawling robot. The ethanol-powered robot weighs about the same as 3 grains of rice. Up next, we have the business updates. Iran resumed fuel exports to Afghanistan a few days ago following a request from the new Afghan government. The price of gasoline in Afghanistan reached $900 per ton as many Afghans drove out of cities. The dollar reached a 10-month high of rupees 165.20 against the Pakistani rupee. The dollar gained 77 paisa against the rupee as the country's foreign exchange reserves reached a historic level of $27.4 billion due to the inflow of $2.77 billion through special drawing rights of the IMF. A year-old B2B marketplace from Pakistan Bazaar has raised $30 million in a series financing. The round takes Bazaar's total funding to $38 million, making it one of the best-funded startups in the country.